No. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Sorry, my phone clicked into us. I was trying to mute myself. Y'all. First of all, what you sipping on? What you sipping
So, an espresso martini. I had missed a step and I was like, wait a minute, this don't taste right. Yeah. I was trying to hurry up. You know how I do when I try to hurry up.
on? What were you missing?
Bailey's.
Yeah. Okay, that's a pretty important part. The look on Sean's face is priceless, though.
Yeah. I could have done just espresso and vodka, but then that's not a good taste.
Oh my God.
I'm
What you
sorry,
sipping
I
today?
only drink dirty martinis, so I don't know nothing about none of that other special chocolate, apple,
Oh,
whatever y'all got going. I don't know nothing about that.
but
Oh
wait,
I
my
needed some.
so I got a Bartisma for Christmas.
Okay.
And
Oh, okay,
so,
I see you.
no, but my espresso martini did not come out of that because it probably would
Oh,
have been perfect had it come out of that. This is
Mm,
oh,
mm,
this
mm.
is the recipe that I used for Thanksgiving when everybody came over. I had the peppermint martinis and then I had the espresso martinis, and they were actually really really good for Thanksgiving. And I hadn't made them since then, and I only made them because my brother-in-law wanted them. Yep. And so I made them for that because he was like, well, you know how you had those specialty drinks? And I was like, yeah. He said, well, could you do the espresso martini? I was on the boat and they had them on the boat. We're cruisers in this family. We like to cruise.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I said, let me see what I can do. I think I probably missed my calling as a mixologist.
Did you?
I
it's never
probably
too late. It's never too late.
I know it's not. I mean, but
Hmm.
I just don't want to be in the club mixing drinks at that time.
In the
In
club.
the club mixing drinks
I
for
mean,
tip.
you could always be at a little lounge, where it's light. You know what I'm saying?
I could do like my uncle when he was Now this is a fun fact, Sean. Over on Girard Avenue, my uncle had a speakeasy called 830. The 830 bar. Yeah, it ain't had no liquor license, but he sure sold liquor.
You
Well,
know?
he probably didn't sell liquor. He probably sold cups or ice or something
Right.
like that.
And then you know what else too? It was the gambling, it was a gambling thing going on before there was casino in Philly, because people didn't want to go all the way to AC to play poker for money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when I tell you, listen, I started doing some research. I
Mm-hmm.
actually was talking to my dad, and he was telling me that, you know, we ran the numbers before they decided to change it into lottery, and they stole it,
Right. Right.
and then that's when they started the lottery, and so that they could shut down the numbers rings because that's how black people made money.
I
The
mean,
little-
hey, you
Learn.
know,
Yeah, I've heard that. Learn something new every day.
Mhm.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
yeah.
it's like most things. We're just good at what we do. We're creative. We're inventive. Shit happens. Life keeps moving, and we keep figuring it out at this point. So not to dismiss it or make light of it, but I think if we were to sit back and talk about all the things that were stolen or misappropriated from what people of color and Black people have created and invented, we'd probably rip the fabric of time at this point.
That's
So
okay.
let's keep it moving.
We'll do that in February.
Yeah, let's keep it moving right now. That's a topic for another day.
We'll
So
do that in February for Black History Month. We got 4 Tuesdays we can explore that. We get to
Yeah.
because like truthfully though, we do invent things out of need, not out of greed. We've always been a need.
well, I
And
ain't gonna say we don't invent out of greed. I'm not gonna say Black people are perfect, but we just
no.
are creative and we are imaginative and we are amazing people. No matter what the news or the media may try to perpetrate and make people think, you know, we're just
Right.
we're pretty cool, dope people.
Well,
But
the dustpan wasn't invented out of greed. They just didn't like nastiness, and so they picked that stuff up with the dustpan.
I guess the reason I'm challenging that is because I don't want us to come across as if money's a bad thing. Like if somebody does invent something for money, that's not a bad thing, right? Like we live in a society and in a world where money runs the show. So
we couldn't
there's nothing wrong.
We couldn't get patents and stuff. And so it was
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about now.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, like if like we don't want to perpetrate and make people think that greed is the only way. Like money is good. I correct people on this all the time. I hear people say this shit all the time. All money ain't good money.
Well, that's actually true, because
that's not true. Money is energy.
40 in the Fed, he begged to differ.
No, listen to me. Money is energy. It simply is an energy, right? It exists like everything else. Right. You just may not need to get it from that source. But money inherently is not bad. It's neutral. We decide how we engage with it. So if you're stealing it from somebody, it may not give you the best outcome, right? If you're doing some fuck shit to somebody, you may not get the best experience. Or if you choose to work with a person. I just had this conversation with another business owner, and they kept saying that all money ain't good money, all money ain't good money. I said, that's not true. You may not need to get it from that person if the exchange that you have to enter into with them is not going to be productive for you to get the money from them, right? But money in that situation is still neutral.
Okay, so the activity itself is what makes it not good money.
Yeah, like or the people that you. So in this example, it was a situation where this particular business owner didn't want to work with this person because they knew that it was going to be a major headache. Like every time they've tried to work with this particular client, it's been a headache. I said the money is not the problem. That person is the problem. And you got to decide whether it's worth it for you to receive the money from that person. Does the reciprocity make sense to you based on what you're going to have to deal with in order to receive the money from them? Or is it more beneficial to say no to the money from them and receive that same money or more from somebody else that's more peaceful, right? So money is neutral. It is the actions of us as people. Same thing as love. Love hurts. The fuck? Love does not hurt. Love is right. You know, it's an energy. We as people do fuck shit that hurt other people. Like which leads us into part of our topic for tonight too. Like it really bothers me when people be like, oh, love hurts. How does it hurt?
Yeah, love doesn't hurt. You know, I had this conversation with someone last week. And what I said is we tend to ignore red flags and excuse bullshit when it comes from an attractive source.
I would agree with that.
If it's somebody that you are attracted to, you will ignore all. It could be a damn circus of red flags flying through there, and you'll be like, well, he didn't mean it. Well, you know, that could be his cousin. I know he was kissing her on the lips, but it's okay. They could be kissing cousins.
Okay, yep.
I'm saying you tend but okay, so and I'm very transparent about this. We tend, so if a guy we're not attracted to says, oh, you sure look good in that dress, it's harassment. If it's the guy that we are attracted to, oh, it's a compliment. We like him. Am I wrong?
You know,
am I wrong?
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't comment on that. I always feel harassed, so you know.
Stop lying, Sean. Sean,
I'm not gonna say I think it's harassment.
I had to turn the heat on in there because it got real cold when you did that.
Listen, so
I'm
I'm
just
not gonna
saying.
say I think it's harassment when an unattractive or somebody that I'm not attracted to. I think any of it depends on the delivery of the like I've had people that I would not consider attractive or I am not attracted to try to give me a compliment or hit on me, right? I don't say, oh my God, that's harassment. Why is he bothering me? I'm just like, thank you. I always am very, very chill. Thank you so much for the compliment. I hope you
I
have an
tell you
amazing day.
that. Well, fuck you, bitch. No, let me stop.
Because they do that, right? Some of them wild out and lose their shit. But I always just try to handle it like, thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, or compliment, much appreciated. I received that. You know, I try to just do it in such a smooth
Right.
way that I keep it moving so they don't have they don't have an opportunity to keep it going. Just shut it down. But even if it's an attractive person, like they could be attractive, but if they come to you with a fuck boy attitude, I'm just like, you know what? Thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. Have a great day. And I still keep it moving. So I think it depends on, you know what I'm saying? Like
your headspace.
Well, your headspace, but the delivery of the person. I don't care how great you look or how ugly you are. If your delivery is fucked up, I don't want to be bothered with you.
That's Sean. You sitting over there with that old Cheshire grin. I'm finna ask you right now.
Nah, I'm just saying, me.
We're not attracted to her. You know, well, I ain't gonna say harassed you, but kept calling, kept coming around, kept popping up. What'd you do?
I mean, it just really depends on how they coming at me. If they just talking, hey, whatever, thank you, keep it moving. But if they start getting touchy feeling, then that's when I gotta start being like, hey, hold on, we ain't doing that over here. But that's also a reason why, like, I don't compliment, women I don't know. Like, I have to know you, like, at least be a friend or something to you, to compliment you, because I just don't compliment women I don't know, because I don't want them taking no, especially in today's climate. I mean, hell, you're not gonna catch me up on no sexual harassment charge just because I was like, oh, I like your shoes.
Yeah.
But you know what? The other thing is that those that come off, remember what I was saying to Jazz about how they turn around and then they cuss you out if you don't acknowledge or welcome their compliments. A lot of them don't have the facial real estate to do that.
I mean,
Did you
hey, I
just say
mean,
they don't
it
have
just
the facial real estate to do? Yep.
it just depends on the person's mentality. 'Cause, I mean, I've seen guys that
She
that
had
look
to say
good. I've seen guys that look good, say something, and when a woman turned them down, they still cursed them out because their mentality wasn't right. So,
but some of them, they facial real estate ain't right either.
I mean, I feel you on that. I
And you
understand
know,
that.
you ain't gonna wear a booger wolf. You
You've
can't be
already
like
made
this.
that point. We understand what you mean. I'm just saying it's not always that person. It's just some guys are immature, and some good looking guys are immature.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it don't matter how great or how not great they look. If their attitude is messed up, I don't want to be bothered. Like, I would rather have a compliment from a man that's not so attractive, you know what I'm saying, than a pretty boy that has a nasty attitude. And across the spectrum, I've seen all of them cut up, the ugly ones and the cute ones, when they feel rejected.
Yeah, but when the ugly ones cut up, I get offended when the ugly ones cut up.
What does it make a difference? Like,
you can't cut up on me. No, let me stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Girl, you sound crazy right now.
That was not nice. No, but seriously though, the thing is that all of it is ugly. All of it is ugly when men cut up because they're not. They go keep.
Who?
She should have came over so we could have been on together. I'm serious though. It'd be like funny when you get these guys that you be like, this booger wolf, I know damn well he ain't fucking talking to me like that. Right. You can't be ugly and ugly acting. That's right, Q. Like you gotta choose a struggle.
Did you call somebody a booger wolf?
Yes. You cannot be ugly and ugly acting. You know, at least Most ugly guys, they dress nice, they act nice. You know, they know they're working with a deficit.
Oh my God.
But just because you consider them ugly, don't mean somebody else don't think they attractive.
Right. I'm like, how
Now
do you
you
get the
know that's some
boobs to pick your
boxes, not
butt?
Nah, you can't do it because I done seen people that think somebody is the most attractive thing in the world, and I'm looking at them like, okay, hey, do you? Because you
That.
wouldn't catch me doing that, but hey, if that's what
And,
folks should vote.
and it's the same with women. I've seen some with they be fawning over, and I'm like, yep,
right. Be like,
like it, I love it.
so when's the last time you had an eye exam?
You know
Huh?
what?
I'm sorry.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all is just not right.
My bad.
Listen, at the end of the day, I don't yuck nobody's yum, because what
Right.
I consider to be trash is somebody else's paradise. You know what I'm saying? What I consider to be unattractive or unappealing is somebody else's king or God.
And it
Some
doesn't
people-
matter how attractive you are. If you are a jerk, you're automatically going to be unattractive.
Exactly. To me, ugly on the inside is just as bad as ugly on the outside, or unappealing on the outside. Because
It's
again,
actually
not
worse.
attractive to me, but attractive to someone else.
It's actually worse because you're a catfish. You look attractive, but then you have a fucked up inside. So that's a catfish.
Yeah. Well, like I said, again,
Well, out the river and it's
beauty's in the
full.
eye of the beholder. Always. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. It don't matter what the circumstance is. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. True. Somebody smashed Flavor
You're right.
Flav.
You're right, Q. And remember all them women that was trying to smash Flavor Flav? I think he got Brigitte Nielsen. Remember, it was like what was it? Love. Oh my gosh. You remember that Q where they was all fighting to smash Flav?
I mean, I never saw this show, but I know what you're talking about.
It
This
was
little
a
reality show.
show. It was a whole season.
Why are we
You
talking
know,
about Flavor Flav?
because she trying to prove a point. I don't know why, but she trying to prove a point.
Oh my God.
That was it, Q. That was it. Yup.
So, but again, now I would argue that money makes people attractive. Resources make people attractive. Assets make people attractive. No matter how you look or don't look, more people are going to be likely to give them a shot because of what they have and pay them some attention sometimes. And then again, that same person, like we've been saying, that same person that you look at and you're like, ain't no way in hell I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Somebody else is ready to slob them down because that's their flavor. You get what I'm saying? So,
well, their flavor is a bank account with commas in it.
well, and listen, because
that doesn't move me. And you're right. Something moves everybody. Some people are moved by somebody's sex game. But if you're not attracted to me, you ain't gonna get that far anyway.
But that being said, I'm with you. That being said, again, that whole theory can still be put to the side, because even though I do say money, resources, and assets can give people more, right? There's still plenty ugly people walking around that ain't got nothing to their name, and they still got a woman.
Get your ass out the comments to get on live.
She said, just agreeing is somebody for everybody.
No, this is next one.
What? Jay-Z is still Joe Camel's cousin. What the hell? You know what?
You don't click that link and get your butt up here on the damn panel.
I am done with both of y'all. Sean, what was the topic you wanted to put on the table tonight? Because you had something you actually wanted to talk about.
Why I want you up here.
Q. Oh, I got an announcement, y'all. So not only is Q going to be hopefully joining us on camera, I'm putting her on the spot, but Benny Mac is hopefully going to be joining us next week or the week after very soon as well, back on camera. Hey. So that being said, Sean, what was the topic you wanted to put on the table? Because they on some bullshit tonight, talking about Flavor Flav and ugly people. How did we get here? Okay, how did we get here? We start out talking about money. I don't know. I'm keeping it
Because
cool.
there are different things that make people attractive, and you're right. Oh, she's nursing a sick kid. Oh, I'm sorry, QQ. Oh,
She's not
she's
camera ready. That's okay, boo. That's okay. We love you anyway.
We
But
love
Sean,
you
take it
too,
away.
boo.
Don't let Gypsy keep hijacking this with her foolishness. Take it away.
Oh, Sean, bring us to the topic.
So honestly, the topic I wanted to talk about now, actually, y'all did put it a better way, relationship purgatory.
Yes.
Because I was just saying, being trapped in a relationship, but I mean being self trapped, basically. And when
You
I
ain't
say
no
self,
relationship. You a prisoner. If you trapped financially, if you're trapped because you feel like you don't have anywhere to go, if you're trapped because you feel like nobody else will love you, you're not in a relationship. You're a prisoner.
okay, I mean I'm glad you see it that way. Because I finished my thought though.
Okay, go ahead.
Because that's what I'm saying. I mean, what I'm saying is, I think you trap yourself if you feel like, I'm only staying in this relationship dealing with all the BS I'm dealing with, whether it's abuse financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, only because you feel like nobody else is going to want me. And I really, me myself personally, I can't really get down with that train of thought because for me, hell, I'll be by myself before I allow somebody to just use me and abuse me. And I know everybody is not that strong mentally, but at the same time, you can always seek help and don't keep talking to the same friends that give you the same advice, but don't actually do anything for
Mm-hmm.
you. If they just tell you, hey, you need to go, but they're not saying, hey, here's an option, here's an option, here's an option. You could do this, you could do that. I'll even help you. If they're not that kind of friend, you don't need to be
Yeah.
talking to them about that.
Now
You
I
need
have
to
a
be
question,
taking
Sean.
what's
Do
that?
you believe in taking relationship advice from people who are not in a healthy relationship themselves?
So
That's what I was gonna say.
that would depend on what do you consider not healthy. Because if they're in something similar to what I'm going through and they acting like everything hunky dory, then hell no, I don't want no advice from them.
They ain't got shit going on. They by themselves.
Oh, I mean, if they by themselves, I mean, just because you're by yourself doesn't mean you have not been in a relationship before that you don't understand how
They
relationships
could
work.
have been in one, but the relationships you've seen them in have been toxic, right?
Hey, Michael.
So, hey, Michael.
He said that was a
So
good question,
if
Sean.
if
I mean,
they
Gypsy.
if they've been in toxic type situations, right? And you've actually witnessed them in toxic type situations. Why would you take advice from them? And they've not had a healthy situation that you've ever witnessed.
And that was part of don't take advice from those type of people. So whether they're giving you bad advice because they're in a bad relationship or they've always been in bad relationships and you know that's what they've always done and that's what you've seen, yeah, I wouldn't take advice from them. No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and so let me jump in because this is what I think. I hear a lot of people often say they would never take advice from somebody who's never been married if they are married or if they want to get married. And I think that's a lost opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because a person has never been married, or even if they're divorced, if their marriage ended, right, doesn't mean that they haven't learned valuable life lessons about being human, about loving, about growth, about healing, about whatever, right? About people, about living in close proximity to another person, right? About having to give and take, about having to compromise, about having to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, the worse, and everything in between. And so a lot of times I think we miss out on valuable wisdom from people because their situation doesn't look perfect. And we go get bullshit from people because on the outside we look and we think, oh, they got it together. Well, no, let me tell you, because myself and almost every client that I have that is a therapist or some type of practitioner in mental health or wellness will tell you them same people y'all be idolizing on social media are the ones talking to us, are the ones on the
That's
brink of
what I was
divorce.
about to say. Because
Right.
everybody isn't who they post to be.
Right.
POST.
A lot of this is pretty. A lot of
And
this is
that's
pretty
the
for
thing.
social media.
It's people will show you what they want you to see. But in the meantime, they're crying in the fucking bathroom just like your
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
But they're
And
not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that they're there because they can't afford to leave. They're not going to tell you that they're there because their self-esteem is so low because he's been telling them no one else will want you. You've got 4 kids.
yeah. And not only that, but a lot of times, like say somebody is yucking somebody's yum and they're like, I would never be in an open relationship, or I would never do polyamory or whatever. Meanwhile, old girl got 2 boyfriends and hubby got 5 girlfriends, right? They just don't want you to know. Or they're knocking somebody swinging or being into, some type of kink, and they ass hoeing up and down the strip in every club they can come across. But people
or
are
they're
so afraid of judgment.
they're secretly in a polyamory and don't realize it because he got girlfriends and you got boyfriends. Bitch, your ass is polyamory.
Right. Or they're polyamorous, but they're trying to hide it for whatever reason because of jobs. Whatever. My point being, there's so much that people hide because we fear judgment. We fear that it's going to affect us financially. We fear that it's going to hurt somebody that we love. Or you said just like Lizzo. What happened with Lizzo? Did I miss it? Cause y'all know I catch up with certain things just so we can talk about it on here, but I don't be having any idea what the celebrities be doing. But like I said, people are afraid of judgment, whether they are afraid it's going to hurt somebody they love, it's going to make them look bad, it's going to affect their money, their job, their whatever. A lot of times people hold it in, and especially if they're a business owner and they feel like their income is depending on the particular people they're marketing to liking them and approving of them, they'll hide all their bullshit and hide every skeleton in the closet and bolt that bad boy clothes because they don't want what they're really going through to affect their bottom line. There was a lady, I can't even think of her name, but it was a Caucasian lady. A couple of years ago, I remember she had this book series. Her and her husband had this whole conference about marriage and all this other stuff, right? And they were teaching people about marriage, and they were secretly getting divorced while they were selling out their next conference teaching people about marriage, right? And people blew the fuck up because they're like, how dare you? And I think it would have been one thing had they come to the public in the beginning and said, hey, this is what we're going through. Life is hard. We've decided to, split for whatever the reason, but they hid it so they could sell their conference. And there's power in wisdom in divorce. I've heard so much wisdom from people who have gone from divorce because they like, let me tell you how I fucked up so you don't do it. Right. But they hid it. And that's what pissed people off. So anyway, like I said, listen, everything is good as ain't gold, and we need to stop basing our ideas off of shit that's not even true.
Let me just say this. I'm about to be transparent.
Oh, do tell.
So, I was absolutely in love with my ex-husband. He couldn't do any wrong, according to me. But he had red flags waving every damn where. But then I got to the point where I didn't want our demise to be publicized. So then I was kind of like holding up the facade, even though I knew he was a fucking cheater from the day I married him. He was cheating while my mother lay dying. But I didn't want to rock the facade, right? And so I allowed the facade to continue because sometimes the facade allows you to save face.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of reasons why a lot of people will allow it to continue. Do you know how many women probably know that their man is out here screwing around and got a whole nother family cross town?
Well, that's why I said people are afraid of judgment.
Probably half of the ones that we hear
But that's why I
about.
said people are afraid of judgment.
Right. We do fear judgment.
But why? That's my whole problem. Because me, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't. You can think of me whatever you want to think of me, because that's not going to change what I do, how I live my life, and I'm definitely not going to sit out here and lie to you, because that's only going to piss you off.
So Sean said, I don't give a fuck. Oh man,
No,
how
that's
do
not
you
what he
feel?
said. He said, I don't give a fuck.
How do you feel, old man? What you got to say since you joining us now?
Yeah. Hey, man.
We've been
Hey.
talking about relationship purgatory and the stuff we were talking about in the chat before.
I would say this right here. I'm not going to be anywhere I'm not loved, appreciated, or wanted. Hey,
I
if
would
they
not
don't
be
want,
tolerated. I
if
love
they
that.
don't want the old man don't want them. I mean,
I
I
like
don't
it.
care, and I don't care how long we've been together, or what we've done, or what we've been through, or what we overcame. If you can walk away from me, let
I
them
can
go.
walk away from you.
There you go.
Listen,
Because I
they
love
say
who
go where
love
you're
me.
celebrated, not tolerated.
There you go.
Stop telling people about our after hours conversations.
Michael said being polyamorous avoids all that. I know you lying because they be lying too, goddamn it. They be like,
Right.
I got 2 of them, and they be having 3 on the side and 2 more
But
here.
you know what, Michael? The reason people don't want to talk about being polyamorous is because it's frowned upon. Because society promotes monogamy. And if you say, but I love who loves me, or I love love, and I am ethically polyamorous. You're right, Q. But the thing is,
talking about adults as well.
I understand that people are still cognizant of judgment. Do you know? Okay.
So let me ask you a question before you go deep into that thought. Gypsy, I got a question for you before you go too deep into that thought.
Okay.
Do you think that people, and I'm curious about this from all of y'all, do you think that it is that people are afraid to be polyamorous because of judgment, or some people, I'm gonna throw me in the some people category, recognize that polyamory is not for them based on personality or need or desire?
Both. Because some people could probably rock with it because they know that every now and then they want a different flavor in their tea. Right?
Yeah.
But then the judgment makes them say, ooh, I better not tell nobody. Because
yeah, right.
I know somebody back in the day that may or may not have been a swinger with her spouse, and may or may not have, engaged in the lifestyle, but because of judgment, never acknowledged the lifestyle, but was in the lifestyle.
So this goes back to, and we said we were going to do this as a topic on the episode as well, but this goes back to a discussion we were having in our behind the scenes chat a couple of weeks ago when I shared a post with you all. And the comments on that post got kind of intense between me and another woman. The post was originally by a man. And he said he believes that, I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly and I'm not looking at it, but I believe he said he thinks that most women actually desire to be polyamorous, but something along the lines of what you said, conditioning, society, expectations, all that shit, right? Because there was a woman in the comments that agreed with him. There were quite a few women in the comments that agreed with him. I said, let me offer a different perspective as a woman. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with you. I just want to add that not everybody is shying away from it because of conditioning. I am very cognizant of myself. Now, that being said, I do understand I have a leg up on most because this is my whole career and my education. self-reflection and me are besties. You understand? I know me real well. That being said, I've talked about this in previous episodes, especially when Q and Michael were here, and we were talking about polyamory and vanilla lifestyle and all these things. I am very clear that I can understand the draw. I can see how people would be curious about it, or the draw of having multiple partners that meet the different needs that you have, right?
Right.
However, know thyself, understand thyself, heal thyself. Self understands I'm a little bit too crazy and a whole lot too motherfucking selfish. I don't share. So because I understand my personality, I know that that's not a lifestyle, no matter how interesting it may appear to me. That is not a lifestyle that I'm interested in. And so the comments between myself and that lady on that particular post got heated because she was like, well, that's still conditioning. I said, how you gonna tell me about me? Like, ladies, speak for yourself.
While I don't like to share, if I'm not satisfied at home in just one aspect, which means the sexual aspect.
Sure.
If you meet everything else except the sexual aspect, okay, I'm gonna venture out and you go too. Go forth and conquer. Go forth and conquer, Mr. Itty Bitty P9 Committee. No, let me.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's not opposed to it. Everybody's not afraid of it. I think some people just recognize that's not. It's not conducive to how they like. I don't have the emotional stamina or the energy to deal with one person at a time, let alone multiple. So we're gonna stay over here in our corner with one. You understand?
Wait a minute, Brad. The other thing is that other people in the situationship may try to exercise too much property rights. That makes sense.
Well, I think you and Michael can talk about that because they've shared there is a hierarchy and a dynamic.
But see, those are people who, like, you're a knowing side chick. That's different. You're a knowing side chick, but you're not into polyamory. Sometimes they are a little too possessive as well, thinking that. Side chick thinking she's gonna be promoted to the main chick if she just performs right. Bitch, no. Your job is still side chick, and when you leave your job, and even if you get promoted, somebody got your old job as side chick.
Well, that's a whole different conversation because that's not the same as polyamory.
Like, I understand that, but the thing is her knowing that she is the side chick, she thinks she's in a polyamorous relationship because she knows she's in the side position. He knows she's in the side position. The only person who doesn't know is main chick.
I don't think that's how that works, though. I don't think
that's not how that works. I know that's not how that works, but there are women out here who believe that they have a leg up because they know all the different parameters, because they can see all the different angles. Oh, I see that he's cheating. Oh, I know I'm side chick. She doesn't know I'm side chick. You're right, Michael. She forgets her lane. Absolutely.
But that's what I'm saying, Gypsy. That's two different conversations, though, because a side chick forgetting her lane is not the same as thinking she's in a polyamorous relationship. No, she just don't want to stay in her place. And that's that man or that woman's problem who's not explaining them boundaries to that person. Stay your ass the fuck over here in this corner until I bring you out. And if I don't bring you out, stay your ass over there, right? Like, that's the whole conversation. And it's the same thing from what I understand in polyamory, that there may be a hierarchy depending on who says what, when, where, and how. There may, but that's all discussion. That's why they stay ethical, right? There was a discussion that they have to have in order to determine who's getting what, when, where, and how, and why. So chime in, Old Man and Sean, like, what are y'all saying on this? What are you thinking on this?
Well, I would say this right here. As far as me, and being truthfully and honest, I have not practiced that lifestyle. I have not been even really good at it. Hell, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the best guy to juggle 2, 3 women. I can't keep up with lies, I forget stuff, and I'm passionate about the things that I enjoy doing. So I'm gonna be honest. If you girl number one and girl number two, one of you getting a real bad end of the deal. You know, I tried it in. I ain't gonna lie, I tried it in college. You know, but I can honestly say, and I tell folks all the time, man, I got dumped by 2 women on the same day.
Damn.
Oh shit.
You know, it's just not. That's not me. It's just not what I. You know, that's not something I feel is a good fit for me. I like being passionate about one person. I like being passionate about who I'm with. And I just, that's just me. I guess I'm a what they call a purple pill guy, you know. Uh, so, uh, but um, I don't frown on anybody who are in that relationship. I know people who are in relationships like that. I know a lot of people. No one guy all his life. I have never known him to have nothing less than 2 women, and they know each other. They are friends with each other. Um, you know so but that's just him. I don't frown on. I love him as a person, but that's not the lifestyle for me.
Michael said, no need to lie to anyone. And Q said, you can't keep track of the lies. I think, oh man, you actually, I think you bring a good perspective, because everybody thinks and always says, all men cheat, all men lie, all men want to have multiple women at the same time. And I tend to think nothing is absolute or extreme all the time. So there's
Yeah,
no all to the men or the women's side, right? And I think you're a great example of not every man wants that.
Right.
yeah,
There are
yeah.
some men who value monogamy for whatever the reason, and there are some. That's why I was using myself as an example in that post
So
that I shared. That
Now,
not
now I will
everybody.
say this right here. Now,
I mean, but it's a
okay,
position.
I'm
Yeah,
passionate about not being a liar.
yeah.
I am passionate about
I'm
that.
about to have a transparent moment. I loved my ex-husband. I really did.
So we
And
know this.
and probably if he had disclosed it, I may have been okay with it for a while, especially
Okay, with what?
considering the fact
Okay,
him. Well, so let me just go back. So when we first started dating, we were swinging,
okay.
but we were in our 20s. But
Mm.
then in our 30s, early 40s, we had agreed that we weren't swinging anymore. And he broke that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he wasn't swinging, he was cheating because I wasn't swinging anymore, right? And so there's a difference when you're swinging and then when you're cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So did y'all agree, or did you just tell him that you didn't want to do it no more?
No, we had, so the thing
Good
is,
question.
Sean, is that we had separated for a while. And then when I told him I wasn't in the lifestyle anymore, I told him I wasn't in, and he said he wasn't either. However, he was cheating.
So y'all didn't really agree. He just said what he had to say to get you back.
Right.
That part, Sean. And
Mm-hmm.
so there was that part.
But in your
And
head, y'all made an agreement.
but when I found out that he was out there still and I wasn't, I was devastated. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's something different when you're in the lifestyle, and then
Yeah.
when you have agreed that you're not in the lifestyle and somebody betrays that.
So
Yes,
like
That
Michael
don't.
and Sean and
That
everybody said,
doesn't.
he lied. He said
yes,
what he
so
had
he
to
That
say.
lied.
doesn't.
Yes, Michael.
Yeah.
So he
But
lied to me. And that's
that
the
does not sound like y'all had an agreement. That just
and
sounds
so
like he
and,
said what
but
you wanted to hear, and you got it in your head that y'all agreed to something.
But that's the thing, is that he said he was out of the lifestyle. I knew I was out of the lifestyle. I told him I was out of the lifestyle. I hadn't been to a club in years. I was out of the lifestyle, right? And I guess that's why I could not get over it, is because I don't know if it was so much the fact that he was with someone else as much as it was the lie.
So you feel like if he had been honest and y'all had been able to talk through that and come to an agreement, you might still be together.
Right. It was the lie that was probably the backbreaker of it, but was the lie. Because I could never get past the fact that he lied to me. Right?
Mhm.
And the thing is that it's different when you guys have been in the lifestyle before and together.
Mhm.
And then someone decides, okay, I'm leaving the lifestyle. And then somebody else says, yeah, me too. I'm leaving the lifestyle too. And then you find out they lied about leaving the lifestyle, even though you did, right? That is probably the biggest betrayal of all, is that he lied about leaving the lifestyle. Because the thing is we had been in the lifestyle. And so if you had told me you weren't ready to leave the lifestyle, let me make an informed decision. Don't lie to me and make the decision for me.
And I feel you on that, but maybe he
And
didn't
that's why
lie to you.
that's why I could never.
But
Sean,
maybe hold on, wait. Maybe he didn't lie to you. Maybe he got out the lifestyle at that moment and then found out like, oh, I don't like this, and got back into it and failed to tell you.
Well, that seems like some bullshit and skirting around
Hey,
words.
I'm just talking about
no.
that's what guys do. I'm just saying that's what guys do.
that's still deceptive. And the thing is,
I didn't say it wasn't.
but you know, Sean, I think the problem is that not only did he lie about being out of the lifestyle, my mother was fucking dying.
I understand that. People
And
do fucked up shit.
you lied to me and my mother.
People do fucked up shit. I understand
Yeah.
that. You know, the thing is though, at the end of the day, if you start out that way with him, why did you think he was going to change?
Because I did.
That's you.
Yeah.
You can't hold everybody to your standards.
But I changed, Sean. The thing is, I grew up and I grew out of the lifestyle. You see me? You
That's
see me?
you.
You can't say you grew up.
I grew up and
Well,
out of the lifestyle. Like I said, hey, this isn't for me. This was 20-year-old me. This was 20-something-year-old me that was okay with this lifestyle. 40-something-year-old me is not okay with this lifestyle. I'm now into monogamy. I would prefer monogamy. You lied to me and tell me you would prefer monogamy. And then you find out my mother is dying and say, oh, I want to marry your daughter and I want to be monogamous. Why?
I would say I believe when, and I don't know this guy. I don't. But I believe when he said, "Hey, I want to marry you," I think he had every intention of trying to be honest and trying to make that decision to be monogamous.
Mhm.
However, that whatever that passion or that calling or that urging on him was still pulling. It's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like someone, and I hate to compare it like this, but I know a lot of people have experience with this, where you have a family member that's on drugs. All right, and they tell you over and over that I'm quitting, and they have every intention of quitting, and then you wake up at 3 in the morning, you walk in on them smoking dope, or You know, so it is
Oh, they
hurtful.
sold all your shit to Potter to go buy some dope.
But you know, I guess that's what has me so jaded, y'all, is because I loved him with my whole heart. And the fact that we were in the lifestyle and then I got out of the lifestyle. He knew I got out of the lifestyle. And he lied to me about being outside of the lifestyle. And then at my most vulnerable moment, when my mother was dying, he lied again about being out of the lifestyle.
So let me throw this in here, and I by no means am I defending him at all.
Right.
But to play devil's advocate, and for those people that hate that phrase, to play on the other side of this, to go to the other extreme, could it be seen as an act of love? Because you clearly loved him, and that's okay. We love who we love, and there's no shame, no judgment, no shade in that, right? We love who we love. But could it have been an act of love for him? Whether he thought at the time it was a lie or not doesn't even really matter. If he knew that your mother was dying and he knew the love that you had for her and whatever fear she had or worry she had, because I know that you and I have talked and you've disclosed that on a previous episode, if I'm not mistaken, that was her concern. Every parent wants to know when they leave this earth, their baby, I don't give a fuck if their baby is 60 years old. Every parent wants to know that their baby is going to be okay, right? Mm-hmm. Again, playing on the opposite side of this, is it possible that his lie or his confession to her was an act of love for her to go in peace?
No.
Now I'm not saying it's right. I'm just asking.
Because like Q and Michael both say, lying by omission is lying, and there's no need to lie. Because the thing is we were in the lifestyle before.
I understand.
If you didn't want the monogamous lifestyle, say that. Give me the opportunity to have a choice.
I'm with you on all of that, and I'm not taking away from any of that.
That is the whole thing. Is why we have relationship purgatory. Is because people lie and do not give people the opportunity to have a choice when they when they're married or when they, when people say I don't want a relationship, the with you is silent.
I understand it. So let's back up.
They're not really saying they don't want a relationship. They just don't want one with you. And so the thing is not giving people a choice and not giving people an informed decision making tool. That's not fair.
I am with you on all that. I'm with you on all. Listen, again, I'm not defending him. He sounds like a lying sack of shit. I'm not defending him at all, right? What I am asking you to consider, because it's obvious that this hurts, and that's all valid. Doesn't matter how long ago it was, it hurts, right? And all of that is valid and it matters. But I'm simply asking you to consider. See, I think a lot of the times, and we as women, I think, do this maybe more than men. I don't know because I'm not a man. But I know that we as women do this thing where we think in absolutes about love. And so if a man cheats, well, he didn't love me. But men will very clearly tell you that sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with the other, right? They can do one thing and still have the other thing in place. They can still love you and still fuck somebody else tomorrow if she's available. Some men can do that. Some men can't, right? On the same token, some people will lie in your face, 10 toes down, like an addict, right? And they may say they did it out of love. I don't know. Love is different for every person. So like I said, I'm not taking his side. But it's obvious that this is hurtful for you and still something that you have to navigate through. So that being said, is it possible to allow yourself to see this from a different vantage point? It doesn't take away that he was wrong. He's still wrong because he lied, whether through omission or outright, it's still a lie. But is it possible, Gypsy, that in his own fucked up way, he was trying to do something that he thought was good? Because I know plenty of folks done said some shit to somebody when they know they on their deathbed and ain't finna be here too much longer to give that person peace to go. This is why I'm asking. Having done hospice care, I done seen enough folks bold-faced lie to their people because they knew that lie made that person feel ready to let go. That lie gave that person ease to be able to let go. You understand? So is it possible that that's what he thought that he may have been doing? Now, he still hurt you in the process, but is it possible that he thought he was giving your mother peace to go in peace? That's all I'm asking you to consider. Not to take away the fact that he was wrong, but just to see it from a different vantage point, to recognize he may have done the best that he knew how to do in the moment. That's a hard thing to navigate when the person that you love has a person that they love that is dying, and the grief is palpable and it's tangible, and you don't know
you
how to
know
do it,
what?
right?
You might be right. And I think that I just had gotten blinders on because
Sure.
once he created that trespass, it was just like a state of no return, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, I said, a lot of times people have no intentions of being deceptive. Since we talk about point of truth and clarity and honesty, I remember it's when I went out on a date, and in fact this was my ex-wife. I think first date we went out, and we was out there, and I'm there finna impress, cause ballers, we finna impress. Hey, buy, get what you want, drinks on me. And she said, "Ugh, I don't drink. I don't like people who drink." And when the waiter said, "Hey, sir, what would you have?" "Sweet tea." I quit drinking that moment. I quit drinking that moment. But
Hey,
it's
Jason,
still,
Happy New Year
I
to you
had that
too.
calling, man. But the beer, that stuff smells so good. It smells so good, and tastes so refreshing that I
But you
have
was
every
performed
intent.
on the spot.
Yeah, I quit just then. Didn't need 12 steps. But later on, I started, start give me a little nip, go hang out with the film, give me a couple of beers or something like that. But I had every intention, hey, I was done. But some things, sometimes, you know, stuff happens.
Yeah.
You know,
Opportunity. Maybe that's what it is. I was put in a position of opportunity,
Yeah.
or I should have planned a lot better, and to avoid those temptations. And but
But
I know the stage. Go ahead, Shell. You were finna say something.
I'm just saying, you should never have to change yourself for somebody else. If
There
they
you
want to
go.
be with you, they're going to be with
There
you.
you go.
If you want to
Yeah.
be with them, you're going to be with them.
Hey,
But
that's
you should not
Sean.
have to change who you are to be with someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it made Sean, every time I went out and stuff like that, it made it you know, when
like when
fellas, it made it kind of answer whatever. But for the most part, Sean, I was an athlete and doing officiating, NCAA officiating. So I actually, man, I really did not want alcohol because the way it made you feel. I like being in control. I really do. But now, man, hey, I don't mind giving me a little buzz.
Well, but I think, again, even in that moment, you told a flat out lie because you knew you wasn't gonna stop drinking a cold turkey on the spot. There was some part of you that knew, but
Oh,
there was also part of you that really thought
yeah,
that you could, right? So I think
yeah,
that's a great example.
exactly.
And it's like we talked about the addicts. Listen, I got a family with enough of them and have dealt with them through the years to know they will lie to your face and steal your ass blind the minute you turn
There you
your back
go.
and go to sleep
right.
And then
and go
help
get
you help you
right.
search for it. Help you
Help
look
you
for it.
look for it, right? So again, no, we're not defending his actions or his behavior. He lied. bottom line, I'm just simply asking for your own healing. Is it possible to consider, and for your own ability to see him as human so that you can forgive? Because forgiveness is never about them. It's always about us being free, right?
Always about us.
It's always about us. So is it possible for you to look at that? I'm just offering that as an alternative because, like I said, having done hospice care, baby, I done seen people lie tooth and nail because that person is finna go. And all you want for them when they're in pain and they're suffering is to go in peace and be out of pain, be out of suffering, right? So people tell them whatever they got to tell them to put their mind at ease.
But the thing is, Jay, let me just say this. Let me offer this up. Is the fact that there was me, my sister, my brother, my sister-in-law, my my son, my nephew. So we was all rotating, you know, who was going over to the hospice, right? There was no need for you to lie to get my mama, you know what I'm saying, some sort of peace so that she could pass in comfort.
Mm-hmm.
There was, you know what I'm saying? There was enough for us. You didn't have to bear that burden.
Not that okay, so I'm just throwing this out there for consideration. I'm just throwing this out there for consideration. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I don't know what that man was thinking. I'm not him. I'm just offering things. But I'm throwing this out there for consideration. And this comes from the conversations that I've had with people.
Mm-hmm.
Your parent, when they leave, them knowing that you got your family and your siblings is not the same as them knowing you got your person. It's not.
That part.
And that's why I said, is it possible he was trying to put her mind at ease?
Let me just say this. This is the first time I've actually even acknowledged the fact that I really loved my ex-husband. I loved my ex-husband's dirty draws. And I really wanted it to work. But then there was a part of me that was so unhealed that when I found out that he cheated, I couldn't get past it. There are people that I know, women and men, that have been able to get past the cheating.
That may not be your lot, baby, and that's okay. Because we've talked about this before, you know, personally and on the episodes. Everything ain't for everybody. And so just because one person was able to handle it doesn't mean that it's your journey to handle. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have stayed and end up killing his ass, so he could have killed you anything.
I tried, but I always envisioned the betrayal. And because I always envisioned the betrayal, I couldn't get past it.
So again, what I'm asking you to consider is not whether you should have stayed. I'm not asking you to consider. You made the best decision that you felt like you could have made, and it might have been the right one. It might not have been meant for you to stay. All I'm asking you to consider is because this is obvious that this is still something that hurt, and that's understandable. So I'm asking you to consider is it possible? Does it make it slightly easier to forgive and release that burden if you can see a different vantage point of maybe he wasn't simply trying to lie to you for the sake of being an asshole and just hurting you. Maybe he thought that he really was changing. Maybe he thought that he was giving your mother peace to go in peace because he knew how much you loved her and how much she loved you. I'm just throwing different things out here. Who knows? Only he knows what he was thinking. But what I've come to understand and love is that not everything is black and white. And we as women will often be like, they didn't love me. They may have very well loved you and they still lied or they still did the thing. One does not automatically cancel the other. So here's also another consideration for you or anybody else to think through. Y'all may not have been meant for a lifetime. And we don't always like to talk about this when it comes to marriage, because everybody wants to buy into the thing that marriage is for a lifetime. That's not true in every case. Some people are only supposed to be married for a season for whatever the reason. And then there are others who last a lifetime or, and until death do us part or whatever that may look like, right? So instead of beating yourself up or wishing you could have, you may have done exactly what you were supposed to do. And here's the other piece of this, because we always want to think, well, if they had done this, we would still be together. Maybe not. Y'all both may have acted in the very way that you were supposed to get to you going your separate ways, because you may not have been meant for a lifetime. And that's harsh, but that his actions may have been the thing that helped put it in motion, because you may not have been meant for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
To consider, as we're talking about, relationship purgatory. The reason I called it that is because, like you said, it feels like prison when you're with somebody and you're mad at them, or you're angry, or you done fell out of love, or you're with them and you resent them, or you're bitter, or whatever. It feels like fucking purgatory. You feel like a prisoner, right? Whether you're staying with them out of fear for financial reasons, or don't have the money to leave, or whatever, or
I need Jason to explain this. You called it a sex helpmate. Jason, please explain that to me, because I'm confused.
Oh my God. Your husband was your sex helpmate, not your husband.
What the fuck is a sex helpmate?
While Jason is explaining that, Sean, you want to chime back in? You got any thoughts to share?
I mean, well, you know, man, pretty much, covered everything I was talking about as far as that goes. But the original topic I was trying to get into.
Relationship purgatory.
No,
that wasn't it.
Yeah, it was more about the conditioning with monogamy. I was trying to answer that question, but then somehow the show got hijacked. But anyway,
that's what you called it, relationship purgatory. I'm just trying to understand.
No. See, you were so caught up, you weren't paying attention. But so Jay had asked me a question about monogamy and about the comment when she was talking about the lady in the comments. And, yeah, so. But before I can answer, but anyway, like I was getting ready to say, obviously, yes, I do believe we all have been conditioned from day one. Now, because we've been conditioned at the same time being told we have free will, we developed this condition into our own thought process. So it affects people differently. Now, me, myself, personally,
you don't give a fuck.
I mean, I don't, but at the same time, like, I couldn't swing because there's no way in the world I could sit there and watch somebody else just with my partner, like, getting down while I'm sitting right there, because I couldn't even concentrate on what I'm doing. So I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna have to get up off her partner. That's part, So, but if I was polyamorous, I could do that as long as I don't need to know the who, what's, when's, where's, and why's. Just, hey, I met somebody and I'll be seeing them. Okay, cool. Because if you tell me you've seen them now, I might be like, all right, drop a pin. Where you at? I'm rolling up. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? But, so, but yes, I do feel like we have been conditioned for monogamy. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, America was founded by what they were called Puritans when they got kicked out of England for being too uptight.
Hold on, Sean. There's a thing I want to ask you about. So a lot of people say, well, modern Christianity has made us think that we're supposed to be monogamous. But to me, the prior Christianity, like the Old Testament Christianity, where they had multiple wives and stuff like that, was out of need because we needed to be able to procreate, right? And multiple women could have, a lot more seeds than multiple. You feel me? Like the men.
But you gotta.
It was about populating the earth.
Yeah,
you gotta understand.
And so,
as times change, things change. But there's also like 1,000,001 different Christianities. subgroups. So different ones have different rules. Just like Mormons can still have multiple wives. Mormons are considered. I mean, they're still a part of Christianity.
You think so? They can have multiple wives.
They follow the book. What's it called? The Book of Mormons with the Latter-day Saints. They talk
Oh,
about Jesus
that's right.
Christ
That's right. Seventh
all
day.
the time.
Seventh
Not,
day.
they're not Seventh-day Adventists. That's something totally different.
Mormons are Seventh day Adventists.
Nah, they are two different things. They are similar, but they are two different things. Trust me. It's a
Okay,
million
well,
Christianities out there.
and I was gonna say none of us are expert on that, so you
Yeah,
know we can.
I sure like.
Yeah. But I will say, okay, so Jason was agreeing with you, old man, and he was saying, I did that with Black and Mild. She said it makes your breath stink, and I wanted her lips. and then he said, he said the other women, Gypsy, she was helping out by fucking him because you was going through something very serious. She took that off your plate. I'm bullshitting for real, okay?
Fuck you, Jason.
And then he said, seriously, when you get married, we do agree to let no man take us under. Oh my God.
I mean, what you right, Jason. But the fact is that I couldn't get past it, and I tried. I really tried, right?
Have you
But
forgiven yourself?
my mental blocked me from going past that, right? Because I would probably have been married. What is this year? This is 2014. No, this is 20. I would have been married almost 14 years now. Had I been able to get past it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know couples that have gotten past cheating and infidelity and stuff. How do I know? Because I've been approached by the husband.
Okay, well, that's another topic.
But anyway,
hey, Jay, do me a favor. Let's make sure we get everybody to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Also, Jay,
like, share, and subscribe. You're right, but I didn't say I partook.
Hold on one second,
I partook.
That's right. Hold on one second, though. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all. Can you hit that like button on the channel and make sure you hit that bell so that every time we go live, or subscribe rather, and every time we go live, you will get notified. Boop. And make sure you hit the like on this video, and make sure you hit that share button, and make sure you get in the comments with us if you just googling it on and watching us. Don't keep texting me because I've been looking and y'all been texting me this whole show.
Yeah,
and I'm getting messages from people who are on YouTube. Do me a favor, drop the the direction how they can chat or make comments or something like that for the YouTube viewers.
So if you are on YouTube and you are not all the way clicked through, if you saw this on Facebook, if you got a text message, however you found out about the podcast, you have to make sure you click all the way through into the actual video on YouTube. Because if not, it'll sit you like right there in the middle and you can see, but you cannot comment. Also, if you guys are watching the replay and you want to see the comments that happened live on the show, if you're on your phone, there's going to be like a little 2 dots on the little right hand corner of the comment bar. You got to slide it over, and that's how you're going to see the comments that were left live, because it differentiates that. So if you're watching the replay, it's going to show nothing and you got to comment. And if you're on your laptop, if you look on the upper right hand side of the screen next to the video, that's where you're going to see the comments from the live version if you're watching the replay. Oh yes, Jason met old man and gave him a shout out. He let me know he met you, old man. I was like, hey, you becoming a whole old man. And he said he was getting cleaned up for you. You know what?
You know what? Go ahead, Jason.
Hey, Jason is the guy I told you that listened to the program drives.
Yes, no, that is excellent, Jason. We absolutely love our supporters. We love when y'all see us out and about and you approach us and talk to us and let us know. And you know what? If we know who you are, we will shout you out on our next episode. So we thank you, Jason, for being a supporter, for engaging with us when you see us out loud in live and living color. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He did tell us about you. He wasn't sure who it was he met, but thank you, thank you, thank you for telling us it was you. Thank you, Jason.
So I'm going to give Jason a shout out because Jason is one of our comedians here in Birmingham, and him and Benny Mac do a lot of work. Another one of the comedians is Felicia. Please forgive me because I cannot think of Miss Felicia's last name, but they are all dope. So make sure that you check them out. Jason, if you got upcoming shows, let us know. And we don't mind giving you some shout outs as well because you always support us and we love you and we thank you for that. That being said, real quick before we move on, Gypsy, I do want to ask you a question. You don't have to answer now because I really want you to think about it. Have you forgiven yourself for the end of your marriage?
Ooh.
I don't want you to answer now because I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. We could talk about it in another episode if you want to, but I really want you to just sit with that and think about that. Okay. I'll valid. Now I want to redirect it back to Sean and Old Man because the original question that sparked me saying, let's talk about relationship purgatory with Sean. I think you were the one that said it in our behind the scenes chat about like people staying in relationships out of fear, right? It was either you or Old Man. And so I really want to hear you all's perspective on that because we often hear women as the people that stay in relationships because of either financial hardship or because of kids, not having a support system, abuse, etc. But we don't always hear from the man's perspective of if you know, men are staying in relationships past this expiration date. Why do y'all think that happens? Because men do it just like women, right? It's not one gender.
Yeah.
In that situation, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of guys out here that are abused, but you don't hear about it because they don't report it because they feel like they're gonna be looked at as less of a man if they report how they being abused. It happens.
Yeah.
It's a lot of guys out here that aren't in a financial position that they were. Like when they first got in a relationship, they may have had a nice job, everything's going well. Then whatever happened. They no longer working. They trying to get a job, they can't find a job, so now they're stuck with this person. And this is what happens a lot of times because once that man loses that source of income, the women just be like, "Oh fuck him, he can't do nothing for me," and they start wilding out.
Yeah.
And so now he's feeling stuck. She running around cheating on him. He knows she cheating on him, but he don't have nowhere to go, nothing, because he don't have no support system in place, no family there, things of that nature. So there's a lot of different reasons. The same thing that affects women affects men. You just hear a lot more about it from the woman's side versus the man's side.
Mm-hmm.
I will agree. Some of those same things you'll hear because it's really almost unmanly to say, man, my woman out there, she keep cheating. I don't know what to do. And you can't come up to a bunch of guys and say something like that. First thing you say, like, dude, what the hell you mean you don't know what to do? Get the hell on, get gone, or do something about it. Because ignoring it is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
And ignoring is not an option. You're gonna have to do something. You got a lot of men for whatever reason, income, they living with a woman and about ready to get kicked out. Man, I'll be honest, I feel sorry for that dude. I'll be honest, man. But something you put them on yourself. You go in that woman's house, man. You might well dance to her music. Dance to her music. She gonna put you out at any point when it gets to the point where you have these disagreements. You can't go in there and be a man in somebody else's house. You can't do it.
But how does that work if a woman moves into his house? Is it? Are you saying that because a person moves into the other house, they don't deserve respect? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I'm saying this right here: the natural order of a relationship is the man being the head of the household. That's the natural order, and you can't be the head of someone else's household. That's just like you have folks who or you live adult children live with their parents. I don't care how old your father is or your mother is, it's still their house. I don't care if they don't know how to add, do math, or write their bills out anymore. It's still their house, and they gonna tell you what to do. They go run their house the way they run their house. A man moving in a woman's house and trying to overexert authority, but you might well go ahead and pack your bag. You go ahead and leave. Soon as you get tired of that dealing with that, you out the door. You have men who don't think they deserve another woman, or think they too ugly to get a woman. Bro, let me tell you something. I had a guy come up to me. He had got divorced, and he thought he was a little ugly guy, you know. And I ain't gonna lie, he wasn't a very good looking fella, but he a good guy. He's my friend.
You
And yeah, he ain't he a good guy. He's a nice guy. But he thought, when nobody go want him, then he was an older guy, So when I told her, I said, man, I hope nobody get offended by it, but I pointed to this um uh this woman who was gay and very masculine. And you know how what you would call women like that, who
bush.
gay very, yeah, yeah. And
They
man,
call
and
doms.
Yeah,
They
shit. No
call
yeah, yeah,
respect.
they're called
yeah.
doms. That's what they call doms.
Okay. Well, she was very dumb, very, very dumb. Look, had a mustache and everything. And I said, look
Had a
here, man.
mustache.
Yeah. I said,
Hey, let,
man, look
let,
at him.
let the man talk. Let the man talk.
I said, listen, you see that fine woman that she has. I said, man, you have an evolutionary biological advantage over. If she can get one, you can get one.
Oh
You
my
can get a good look. Now, because that they are the dominant woman wasn't an attractive woman, was not an attractive woman physically, uh aesthetically, was not an attractive person. And whatever for reason, it has everything to do with that person's confidence, that person's
God.
charisma, the way that person talk, the way that person act. And I said, listen, if they can get one, you can get somebody. You got something about you got to fix. You got the way you look, but you better dress nice. You better smell good. You
Did you
better
tell
be
this man he
nice.
was ugly? Oh man.
I told him he needs to dress nice. He needs to make sure you smell good. All right. Anytime you see me, I'm gonna always smell good. I'm gonna be nice looking. I'm gonna have a pleasant attitude. I'm gonna have all the things. I know my deficiency. You can't, and I'm not gonna have a bunch of you. You got too many deficiencies. You eliminate yourself.
Right.
For
You
real,
got
fellas. All you really gotta be is funny. If you funny, then you
Yeah.
good to go. You good to go. You can get in anywhere.
Jason said he could have been scared of child support too. You lost your girl and you got to pay for that. It will hurt.
that is true. And
Um,
also this right here. Sometimes you
mm,
just don't want to go because you don't want to leave your kids.
yeah.
You know,
Well, there's
and
that part, but I don't know now. Now, let me ask you this. Is it that you don't want to leave your kids or you don't want to relinquish part of your authority?
well, I tell you, well, I can speak for
As
me.
long as you're
I can speak for me, and I
in
can speak
control,
for
you still have
the type
authority.
of I can speak for me, and I can speak for the type of men that I'm friends with. And we believe one of the things we do, we believe in taking care of our kids. And as far as my child, I gave more in I had a child support order. I gave more in money past the child support than the extra child support order was. But one thing I wanted my child present, and I'll go do whatever I had to do to have a presence in my child's life. That's how I am. That's how every one of my friends are, married or single. We are big on being apart and taking care of our kids, taking care of our family. That's just me. That's just the type of people I hang with. That's why when I first came on here in this program, it was so hard to me to grasp the idea that you had people who was not like that. And I think that's one thing we was going head to head on, because that's just not the reality of what I see and the people that I'm around and friends with.
So I'm gonna be transparent here. Another transparent moment. I did not seek child support on neither one of my children, because to me, the law shouldn't have to make you do what you know you're supposed to do. And in one case, I knew that he had multiple other children, right? And probably could not afford child support. In the other case, I didn't.
But he don't deserve to eat. He don't deserve to eat.
I understand that, but
sleep on the bridge. All right, hell, sleep on the bridge. Get a tent. If you got kids deserve to eat.
But the thing is that because I was financially able to take care of that, I did not want to take away from his other children. And with the other one, I just didn't want to rock the boat, because after I was pregnant and decided to go on with the pregnancy, I found that he was married. And I didn't want to rock the boat.
Well, I tell you what, child support.
So there's two different choices that I made, but both of them, my children didn't suffer, right? It wasn't like they went without, like they never missed a meal. There was never lights off or gas off or water off, or they couldn't do this or they couldn't do that. There was never none of that. What they missed was physical presence. And the thing is that people need to understand that child support doesn't replace physical presence.
And nobody's saying it does, but everybody is not in the position that you were in to be able to say, I don't need it, so I'm not even going to go after it.
And also this right here.
What I just said, Frank said they suffered from not having a father. That's exactly what I said. Is they suffered from not having physical presence. But you can make somebody pay child support, but that doesn't mean they'll be present.
No one is saying that child support is going to make them present.
Right.
The only thing we're saying is child support is holding them accountable for the babies that they made.
Yeah. And also this right here, I'm gonna say this: child support is the child as the mother, and I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to all the mothers out here. Child support is not your money; it is the child's money. So by that I'm saying this right here: if you have the income where you don't need it, you can pay for everything, well then that's your child's car money for when they graduate high school. That's the child's college fund. So I'm telling you, ladies, do not, and I'm a big proponent of there need to be some type of reform on how folks spend child support money. But I'm also gonna say this right here: child support money needs to go to supporting these kids. You should not have the option of not accepting child support. Now, I can understand if you say, okay, if you present, and I understand you having a difficult time with a job, because I don't want my child father going to jail when they can be present, even though they don't have a job. They can do the other part of like teaching this boy how to catch a ball, go fish and do everything and watch it. But if you ain't paying and you ain't coming around,
but what if you live too far away though? Oh man, what if you live too far away?
They planes fly every day.
If his dad can't afford
every
child
day.
support, 9 times out of 10, he can't afford a plane trip.
How do you know
Listen,
he
what
can
it,
afford it?
So let me jump in here for just a second, because I try not to speak too much on it, because I don't have living children and I've never had to deal with child support. That being said, though, where there's a will, there's a way. I believe for any adult, where there's a will, there's a way. And any grown person that's able to lay down and fuck and have a child, or make love and have a child, whatever the hell happened to have a child, whether you wanted that child or not, once that child is here, I think both of those people, whether you like each other or not, have the obligation to make sure that that child has every opportunity in life. So I have to err on the side of the gentleman with this, whether you needed the money or not. And I say this to any woman, whether you needed the money or not, that money could have been put into accounts for them so that they had college funds or a first home
I
fund or
appreciate
first
that.
baby funds or anything, you know. And a lot of the times we think, well, I got what my kids need. Okay, but once those kids grow into adulthood, do you still have the ability to have what they need? Do you want that burden? Or how much difference could that have made? Even if it was $100 a month, how much difference could that have made over 18 years stacking up with interest? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, and I appreciate that, but at the time, me being the compassionate one, I was thinking about the other children, right? Like if he
not right, because his
really,
ass could have got another job to make sure them other kids were still taken care of.
Well, I mean, I kind of understand that.
That doesn't even matter. That doesn't matter because child support goes on the scale. So even if you got other kids, wherever your kid fall, even if it was just $5.95 a month, they're gonna go on that scale and be like, okay, this is how much you have to pay for this kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and as an adult, he would have that responsibility, not you. And we're talking not only then, but now for anybody that's watching this that may have to consider this. Your job, I'm not saying that the other kids don't matter, but your job is not to worry about them other kids. Your job is to make sure your child has.
But
so
as a compassionate mother,
no, we're not talking. But we're not talking about just you back then, Gypsy. We're also talking about anybody that may watch it now. First and second and third of all, fuck him and his compassion, because if he gives a damn and if he don't give a damn, if you can't get what you need voluntarily, then I'm not a big fan of just letting the court system all up in your business. But if you can't get it voluntarily, then let them help you get what you need, because like they said, it's not about just you. Because even if you can afford it today, what happens if you can't afford it tomorrow? That money stacked up can be the difference sometimes for people. And it's not your job to worry about a grown man.
Also, this right here for you men out there who out there just going at it willy-nilly or just giving money. I'm telling you right now, put yourself on child support, because what will happen is, you may be tagging your baby mama bending over today, next week or something like that, and y'all got a good relationship. But 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when y'all not getting along, she'll go to that judge and say, Judge, he ain't never helped me. And this child, 15 years old, judge gonna say, bam, 15 years worth of bank child support.
But I didn't do that.
Hold on. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about men, period. This about I'm speaking to men about being protecting themselves. When you do that, when you own that child support, you getting a definite payment, and you're getting a definite end date. And you're not gonna end up messing up your life because now you didn't teed the child's mother off, and this child got 2 to 3 years left, and now they gonna go in and tell you, hey, he never paid. Now here it is, you got $80,000 worth of back child support, and you're not gonna pay it. You're going to jail. You're gonna lose your job because you're not gonna pay that. And you're gonna be forever trying to pay that money back.
Hold on 1 second, Gypsy. Let's catch up on Jason's comments, and let's also look at the other side of this. So Jason said, Gypsy, you're a real one, because a lot of women would have said and did what Jay said. Women should never raise children in solitude. Statistically speaking, women are not good at raising children alone. If you didn't know he was married, you didn't know him well. 31 forms of birth. Wait a minute, because it's not personal. Wait a minute. 31 forms of birth control. Have fun, but don't have PPP. Piss poor pussy management skills. He will continue to do this because you not. And see, that's where I'm going with this. This is not
Okay.
just about.
So Frank,
Wait a minute, because it's not just about you, Gypsy. We are also talking about parents, and there are a lot of women. There are a lot of women that have ended up angry, bitter, broke down. And wait a minute though. Wait a minute. There are a lot of women, because I have these conversations, that end up angry, bitter, broke down, and frustrated because they try to operate with compassion to worry about, well, if he ain't got it, and what about his other baby mamas, and what about his other kids? Listen, baby, if he wasn't concerned about it, then that's not your concern either. Your concern, wait a minute, your concern for anybody watching this is to make sure your baby's okay. And that's not about not going against what Jason said, but that ain't about being a real one or not a real one. Because see, to me, a real one is saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my child is okay. And if that means going through the court system to put something documented in place, I don't give a fuck if it's $10 a month. That $10 a month added up over 18 years is more than what that child had with it not being added up over 18 years. And it gives them an extra leg up in life, especially here in our community. You understand? And too many women end up angry and bitter and broke down because they working 2 and 3 jobs to provide because they wanted to be understanding and compassionate. And daddy ain't doing shit. He ain't there. He ain't paying. He ain't providing. He ain't covering. He ain't doing shit. And so mama's doing it all. And then you end up with these broken ass kids becoming broken ass adults because mama tried to do it all by herself. And it's time for us to have these conversations and stop that fucked up narrative. It is not a woman's job to carry a man when he ain't carrying himself.
I need to address Frank and fuck you, Jason. Yes, I'm cocked and loaded. You goddamn right. Because the thing is that when you're active duty military, it's very easy to hide your status of being married, because a lot of times people are married and their wives or husbands are not stationed with us. So we don't know that they're married. We going over to their crib. We hanging out. We doing all of these things that dating people do in their space, but because their spouse lives maybe back at home or whatever, we don't know about their spouse. So yeah, you're right. Maybe I wasn't accountable or whatever, but at the same time, how can you know when they're actively hiding the person that they're actually in a marital relationship with? Okay, so there's that part. And yes, the cycle continues. I like to talk to women without fathers. Well, my father was around.
He ain't talking about you, baby. That's his point. He's talking about.
No. I understand that. My father was a diplomat, but at the same time, you're absolutely right.
Sean, do you want to chime in? Because your face.
I mean, I almost said something.
Sean has known me over 30 years, so Sean knows.
I almost said something to Frank about this last comment, because that's wild. Because yeah, I don't want to deal with a woman without a father. They going to bring too many goddamn issues. They got too much going on with daddy issues.
I didn't take that from what he just said. What do you mean as far as dating, Sean?
Yeah, I like to talk to women without fathers. The work is already done for you, meaning that they already so fucked.
I took that as he likes to. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. But when I read that, I saw him saying he wants to have the conversations to help them do better, because with Gypsy, it's already done. Her kids are grown. She had support. That's what.
That ain't what they said.
That's not what he's talking about.
I got that all wrong.
What he's talking about?
What he's talking about is he like to deal with women that don't have fathers, because it's easier to manipulate them.
Oh shit, I was all backwards.
That's what he means.
I'm with Gypsy on this one. Fuck you, Frank.
And I'm like, wow, that's crazy, because a lot of women without fathers, because of those daddy issues, they are so easy to manipulate, and and that's crazy. I
He
mean,
said he didn't
but
say
I guess
married.
Yes.
yeah, he didn't say married. He just like to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But I guess there's guys out there that like that. Me personally, I don't like dealing with them. You know, and I'm not saying like you had to be in the same household with your father. But as long as you have a relationship with your father, then that's different.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
that relationship could be fucked up, Sean, because
I mean, that's true too.
at the
That's
same time, like you looking at fucking Cosby Show and you trying to get that
nah.
shit,
I
and
ain't
then
saying
no.
I
I'm
ain't
just
saying
telling.
that.
Listen, I'm just saying. I'm telling you from a woman's perspective. Let me just say this: if your first relationship with men is fucked up, i.e., your relationship with your father, it's very, very hard to get a healthy relationship with men after that.
It's not really hard. It's all about your perspective and your
Well,
mindset, and are you
wait
willing to change
a
it?
minute, wait, tell me.
But what my point was is if she has a relationship with her father, you got a baseline. Now you talk to her, find out where her mental at, because she can still have a bad attitude and be messed up because of her relationship with her father. So I'm not saying it's always a great thing. All I'm saying is I'd rather deal with a woman that had some type of relationship with their father than no relationship. And I'm not even gonna say their father, but a positive male role model. Let me put it that way.
It don't matter about a male role model. It's actually the father. And I'm going to tell you why, Sean. And I'm telling you as a woman. Because if your father is not a prominent relationship in your life as a woman, that's the first male relationship you have. And if it is not there, you're actually going to be forever seeking that type of relationship.
And that's my
Like
point.
for real.
That's my point. You're proving my point. You're saying, well, that's what I was talking about. You're proving my point.
So
That's
let me catch
exactly
up
what I
on
was
the
talking
comments
about.
real quick. Chandrita said, on the other side, I've tried to encourage men to file child support, but they're too concerned that the baby mama will spend the money on her personal needs, not the child.
Yeah, fuck that. They need to go on and pay their damn child support because you right, Chandrita. They do need to pay in what they're supposed to. And the thing is that what do they want? Fucking receipts that show that she didn't damn spend the money. Listen, so
Receipts would be nice.
hold up. What I saw earlier today, it was mind blowing to me. There was a lady who said that her older son, not the product of her second marriage, had inherited $300,000 from the first husband. And the second husband was like, well, we need to use some of that money for the second child, which is with the second husband's education.
No.
And what she said is, no, we can't do that because, and so he took the first child and left the fucking house. I mean, the second child and left the house. Left the house and told her that she was going to spend the next couple weeks without her son to figure out her relationship with the second child because she should be trying to provide for the second child with the first husband's money. No, you die and go and leave him a life insurance policy too. But anyway, I digress. But what I'm saying is the thing is that people have a warped sense of what providing means or what being there for your child means. It doesn't mean just financial. It doesn't mean just being present. It doesn't mean giving them everything they want. It means there's a whole lot of other things that you have to do to make sure that child gets to adulthood successfully.
Very true. Let me catch up on the rest of these comments real quick. Jason was laughing probably at all of us at this point. James said Frank like easy pickings, right? Because I read the fuck out of that wrong. Like, thank y'all for correcting me, because just all wrong. I thought he was meaning he was trying to mentor people to help them do better. But Jason, Frank, you out here being a whole fucking predator. Ain't you fucked up?
Right.
Frank said,
Now I don't think you're a predator.
The fuck
if
you say?
if you intentionally trying to deal with ladies who ain't got no daddy because you feel like they
You a predator.
you a fucking predator.
Right.
Frank said you can tell within 2 minutes if a woman has a strong male in her life. See, predator. Okay.
Predator.
It's not hard, it's impossible.
Diddy 2.0.
And there are, oh my God, I ain't gonna say all that. And there are a lot of men who will intentionally look for women like that don't have strong male influence because they find them easier to abuse, easier to control, easier to manipulate, easier to take advantage of. That's why a lot of times people will isolate you away from your friends and family, especially anybody masculine around you, or make you feel bad about having males in your life because they want to make sure nobody come tap that ass if they get out of control.
Now, listen, I think we reading this wrong.
I need to vet
I think we're reading it wrong. I totally disagree. I have a different viewpoint. My viewpoint is this right here.
I need to vet mine through Sean, because Sean has been in my life since I was fucking 20.
Girl, we know this. But old man was
what I'm saying is I need to vet them through him because we are truly friends, right?
Sure.
And and because he's a male, he can also spot bullshit. And he can be like, girl, that's a fuck me right there.
That's a part. Listen. That is the place of a father what Sean doing. That's what it is. Now I'm listening to the other guy. What Frank Williams said. Yeah. Now hold on. And Frank, you had to come back and explain, because I don't want to speak for you. Because when you get the opportunity to chat and add for yourself. Now it seemed like to me he was saying that he liked dating women without father, simply because if the end goal is to get a physical relationship with them, they right. more inclined to. It didn't seem like he trying to manipulate anyone. It's just whatever his that's his end goal. Then that's what. Listen, if you date anyone dating, your primary goal is to have increase that relationship, have a physical relationship. I don't know many people who date and the desire or the goal of sex is not a part of dating. I don't know many people like that. I don't know many people like, hey, let's date just to date.
That's the definition of a predator. If you're going to intentionally go after a particular species or subject or part of the population for a specified outcome because it's going to be easier, that is predatory. So if you're sitting here trying to
he didn't say,
but that's what you just said.
Okay, I'm just telling you what I read based on here. It didn't say he just won't only women with no father. He said he enjoyed dating women who doesn't have a father. You know,
the
whatever.
Work is already done for you. That was the rest of that. Huh? He likes to date them because the work is already done for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it back up.
Meaning that
is that they are emotionally vulnerable, and he likes to grab just like lions when they see a pack of a herd or something, they go after the weak ones to sing out the weak, and they get the weak ones. That's what he's saying. That's what he's doing.
So that's predatory. So like I said, I read it wrong because I thought he meant as far as mentoring being like a brotherly energy or something, trying to help. But clearly I was all fucked up on that one. So thank y'all.
And then I may be wrong too. And then I may be wrong too. That's not what, but I just don't see it as that's what he was saying.
Nah, trust me, that's what he meant.
Okay, so Frank, here go Frank. Military or not, if you had met his mom or family, somebody would have told you. That's the protocol before you breed with somebody. Women today will take more time on their outfit, nails, etc. Well, damn. And then they will spend on choosing who to breed with, a decision that will affect their whole life. I'm being facetious about the dating.
Don't try to clean it up now, Frank. You put it out there.
It took you a long time to fix that one, so I don't know about that, sir. I don't know about that. But that being said, you know, at the end of the day, we all make decisions, we all make choices. And I'm not, you know, advocating that men should be taken advantage of with child support, because there are women, just like there are men who avoid it to be malicious, there are women who use it to be malicious. So I'm not advocating for that at all. What I am advocating for any woman watching this, if you're trying to be so compassionate about that man that you're putting a financial burden on yourself to take care of your children, sis, your priorities are fucked up, because you shouldn't be more worried about that man's well-being than he is about his own. And as whether he wanted a child, you wanted a child, or whatever, when grown people come together and decide to have sex and a child is produced, you got options. And if you choose not to exercise different options and you choose to birth, then you both have to step up to the plate to understand you're now responsible for this life. Like, that's how I look at it. And I know everything isn't cut and dry. And there, you know, there are different gray parts of that conversation too that are nuanced with assault and, you know, different things. But when you have two people that consciously made a decision, then we have to be grown enough to deal with our decisions, because that child didn't ask to come here and suffer because you mad at each other, you don't like each other, you don't want to stay together at the end of the day. Jason said, too late, Frank.
And while I hear what Frank's saying, Frank, back in the 80s and 90s when I was active in the military, it was just not practical. Let me borrow your car. No. Let me borrow your car. No, wait, can I borrow your stuff and the son sees it? No.
What the
Let me ask you, okay. No, let me stop.
Fathers out there too that are raising children, and the mothers are up on child support that they don't pay. So it's not only deadbeat dads out here, it's also
deadbeat mamas too. It's deadbeat mamas too. It's across genders, right? It's not a either all. It's not an all on either side. It's not all men are. It's not all women are. It's both. It's people fucked up on both sides of the gender line, right? So that being said, let's go ahead and wrap this up, because we've been here for quite a long time and we got way off topic. I don't even know if we really ever hit home on the thing that we were supposed to be talking about. So we might circle back to that again in the relationship purgatory.
Relationship is in purgatory right now.
But with that being said, before you all click out of this video, make sure that you drop the like button, hit that thumbs up sign so that you can like this video. Make sure that you click that share button so that you can grab the link or share it on your social or send it to your bestie some kind of way. And make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that every time we go live, you don't miss us, okay? Because we really love y'all and we thank you all for joining us and participating with us and being a part of our family. Oh, Jason has a comedy show this Thursday night at the Stardome starting at 6. No, doors open at 6, starting at 7:30. Okay, snaps out to you. If I can
let me share something before we leave too, Jay.
Please do.
Okay. A couple of things. I know this coming Friday is National Quit Day resolution. So many of you all have started your New Year's resolution usually by this first Friday. Most of you have already quit. So I want everybody make sure that you really concentrate on this Friday, and whatever it is that you decide to do to make yourself better, please go do it past this Friday. Keep doing it past this Friday. Let's get that 30 days in, and once it takes 30 days to become a habit, and probably about 90 days in order to become a lifestyle. So, guys, please stay with it. Whatever it is that you're doing, stay with it. Also, this is a great time. A lot of you working on these jobs, and I know we talked about you being in bad relationship, but now is a great time to put yourself in position on your job to ask your boss, your supervisor, go in there, ask for a raise. Now, we talked about who a couple of weeks ago about the folks who too scared to go in there and ask for money. Now, you better go ahead and do your thing, what you're supposed to do, to build up your nerve to go ahead and ask for some money, because you deserve it.
With that being said, final reminder, again, Jason is giving a shout out. They have a Thursday night show in 2 days on the 9th at the Comedy Stardome here in Birmingham, Alabama. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7:30. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and tell your people, because do you really like them if you're not telling them about us? I'm just saying. With that, we'll see y'all next Tuesday at 6:30. Oh, what?
And I wanted to give a formal thank you and a welcome to Frank. We don't know who Frank is exactly, but thank you, Frank, for your input. Thank you, Frank, for participating, and welcome to SIP. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. You are a newbie because I do pay attention to who has been commenting, and thank you very, very much for coming in and giving us a new perspective. We really appreciate that. And we hope to see you next week. But again, like, share, and subscribe. And with that, we'll see you next Tuesday.
See y'all later.